Hi everybody and welcome back to Let's Play Persona 4 Golden. So in the last part, we headed into the TV world with Chie and Yosuke, and we found some pretty disturbing stuff. And we're starting off with some pretty disturbing stuff in this part as well, because we've got our next victim. Another person is found dead, hung by a telephone pole.
Well, I'm off.
Or hung on a telephone pole, I should say. And of course, Jojima's going off early because he has to deal with that shit. So yeah, Dojima's got some more shit to deal with. And everything's going to hell, apparently.
When I looked, I saw three
More rain.
cars zooming by. You live at the police
Weather's always so
station,
shit in Inaba. What the fuck's going on?
I heard some yelling, but nothing more. A total disappointment. Jeez, you need to pay more
That's something,
attention to
actually.
stuff
They
like
never
that.
really
How else are
explain
we
all this
supposed to
stuff.
get the juicy stories?
You know, how the TV world and kind of the weather are kind of intertwined. They never really they never really explain it. It's just kind of a thing that they don't really explain. They just say that it's kind of happened over the last few years, that, you know,
Of course not. What is that, rumor
the
for
really
real?
dense fog has been happening more and more often over the past few years. And that's really all they really, you know, all they really say. There's never really a direct kind of line kind of drawn as to why that's the case, but whatever the fuck. Let's just move on, shall we? So yeah, we've been called for a special assembly. I wonder what they're going to say. Oh look, it's Dumbledore. I wonder if that was intentional. It must be, to have the principal designed after Dumbledore. 2008, was that when Harry Potter was getting really big? I can't remember. No, actually, the films, yeah. No, that isn't the case, actually, because I think the first film came out in 2001, so. But yeah, it turns out that Saki Konishi is the one who's passed away. So yeah, and the police are currently investigating what happened to her. So she's the one who's been left hung on a telephone pole. So yeah, Saki Konishi's passed away. She's victim number 2.
There's been no evidence that bullying was involved in the incident. So mind what you say, not only to the police.
Yeah, I kind of, you know, that's something as well. That's kind of a realistic thing to do as well, that the principal will bring up. Yeah, it's not down to bullying, because in this kind of situation, because that would be the first thing that you kind of think of, you know, in a high school, that somebody was kind of, you know, off themselves because of intense bullying. So it doesn't make sense that you bring that up. And of course, people are talking. So yeah, people are talking about it.
Come on, this isn't some sci-fi drama. Oh, by the way, did you hear? Someone saw a girl that looked like Saki on that midnight channel thingy. They said she totally.
And again, people are there. Apparently, some people saw Saki on the midnight channel last night. So again, that's another thing which links it to Mayumi Yamano's death. People saw her on the midnight channel before she turned up dead.
Hey, did you guys check out the TV last night?
Yosuke, not you too.
Just listen for a sec. Something kept bothering me, so I watched it again, and I think.
So yeah, Yosuke decided to watch it, and he thinks the girl that he saw on the screen was Saki.
I looked like she was writhing in pain, and then she disappeared from the screen.
Yeah, and that's he kind of brings this up here. So yeah, it looked as if she was writhing in pain, which it kind of lines up with what we saw when we watched the Midnight Channel the night that Mayumi Yamano got killed. So yeah, that's also something else that basically seems that it gets shown on the TV screen when the fog clears in the other world and they end up being killed.
Sure. Something tells me I just can't dismiss it as coincidence.
Yeah, and this is also like the first time we bring up the link that
Plus, remember what
people
that
who
bear
turn up on the
thing said?
Midnight Channel
How that place was dangerous and we
end
should
up
leave
dying.
before the fog clears? It also said that someone's been throwing people in there. And that room with the posters on the wall, it has to have something to do with the announcer's death. I mean, don't you think there's some kind of connection there? Couldn't that world in the TV have something to do with Senpai and the announcer's death? Well,
everything
you
seems
think?
to be lining up to that connection at some point.
so it's
Yeah.
not just me.
Here
huh?
it doesn't really matter what you select.
If there is a connection, then it's a good bet that the two of them went inside that world. That would explain the posters in that room. Which means, if we look around, we might find a place
Yeah,
that has
lines up
something to do
pretty
with Senpai too.
pretty much perfectly at this point.
Yeah. I'm thinking about going in again.
So yeah, what Yosuke wants to do, because obviously he had
Don't do this.
he had the hots
should
for
just let
sake.
the
He
police
had
handle
a
this
he liked sake.
You think we can rely on the
So he
police?
wants
They
to
haven't made any progress on the announcer's case.
so he wants to head
Besides,
back into
even
the
if we
TV
told them about
world
the world
to see if we can
inside the TV, there's no
turn
way
up
they're gonna
any
believe us.
evidence
If I'm
that
completely off base with
that's
this,
where
that's
Saki
fine.
was, and that's why she
Just-
ended up dying.
I need
So
to know
he
why Senpai
wants to
had
kind of
die
go in
like
and
this.
try and work out what the fuck's going on
Yosuke.
with people being chucked into
After what I've
the
seen
TV
and
world
what
and
I've put
murdered,
together, there's no way
Um,
I can ignore it now.
as well as try to.
Sorry.
It's a bit of a personal
You're
thing
the
for
only
him
person who
this
can
first
help me.
time
I'm gonna go
with
get ready.
Yosuke. It's a kind of a
Waiting for
personal
you,
thing of
Judas.
him wanting to find out why the girl he liked had to die in this way.
I can kind of understand.
So he wants us to take him.
But we can't be sure we'll be able to.
So yeah,
What
because of
should
course
we
we're the only
do?
people who can enter that. Our main character here is the only one who can enter that world.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, we have to stop him. He could be really dangerous.
Anyways, let's go to Junes. We can't leave Yosuke alone.
So yeah. So we're going to be heading off to Junes to try and stop Yosuke from doing something really stupid.
You guys came.
This looks so stupid.
Hey, stop, you idiots!
He's
Come
got a
on,
rope
you
wrapped
really
around his
shouldn't
waist and
do
he's
this.
holding a
It's
golf
too
club.
dangerous.
That's going to be
I
so
know.
useful.
We were able to
I
come
can
back
tell.
once, right? If we go in from the same location, maybe we'll meet that bear again.
By sheer dumb
Isn't
luck,
good
bitch. For God's sake.
I can't just
It's,
act like
you know,
everyone else
sheer
and
dumb
pretend
luck
this
that
has
we ran
nothing to
into Teddy and he was able to send us back.
What about you? Could you just walk away?
Is it here? Yes. So here at this point, this is an option where you can
Yeah.
increase your understanding.
Just you and me.
Select that you don't want Chie, that you're worried about Chie, and your
Not going
understanding will
without a plan.
increase. Basically,
Chie,
you don't want her to
you in
get
charge of this.
dragged into this shit and
Huh?
you get potentially hurt.
That?
Um,
a rope?
apparently, it's fine for Yosuke. We don't give a
Going
shit
inside
about
the
him,
So I want you to hold on to
Um,
this and wait here.
but we want Chie to kind of stay out of this
Then
and
this
kind
is
of
a lifeline?
stay behind.
Come on, wait a sec.
So yeah,
Here.
Yosuke's
for
idea,
you.
which is not a. Oh, thank you. I've always wanted a
Thought
golf
it might
club,
be better than
and
going
he's given
in
us some medicine
empty-handed.
too. Nice.
All
But
right,
yeah,
let's
with
go. There's no use wasting any more time.
I mean, the initial idea I don't think is
Don't let go
too
of the
stupid
rope.
of a one from Yosuke to have the idea of, well, if we have our if we have rope around us, if we have this rope around us which Chio's the other end of, then we'll be just fine. That'll keep the gateway to the TV world permanently open, so then we can just head back whenever we want to. I don't know why Chie decides to pull on the rope here. Well, fuck.
See? I knew this wasn't gonna work.
Well,
what?
that went about as well as could be expected. So, yeah, the ropes broke. Like I say, it's not a bad idea for Yosuke to come up with the idea of
Is this-
having
look,
some
this is
sort
the
of
same
line to
place as
keep
last
the
time. So they are connected from
exit
place
back to
place.
the real world open, but yeah,
You guys,
maybe he should have
why'd you
used
go
some,
back?
like, metal wire or something. Rope was never going to work. Oh, hi.
I get it.
You just were
You're
hanging
the
around
ones
here.
behind this. You're that thing from last time. Wait, what the hell did you just say?
Lately, I can tell someone's
We're
been
the ones
drawing
behind this?
people in
Fuck you, dude.
It's making this world
Absolutely.
more
Why would...
messed up.
You're an idiot.
This is the second time you guys came here, and I don't think anyone forced
Yeah,
you
it's kind of
in.
a...
That means you're the most
It's one of these things
suspicious.
where he says to us, "Hey, you're the ones doing this. You're the ones behind all this shit." And it's like, the guy the person who's behind this, they're throwing people into the TV world. They're not going in themselves. So that's not really very clever. Also, considering the fact that we don't know, or we have no way of getting out of here. You know, you had to let us out last time, so I don't think Teddy's thinking this through all the way.
Hey, what do you think?
Seems likely that they were.
Yeah, I agree. Let's assume.
This is something I kind of like early on. They do a pretty good job of
intending to kill them?
of
If that's the case,
having Yosuke and the main character in Chie kind of slowly working out how the fuck this all works, and you know, slowly but surely working out. Oh, okay, so this is how we. This, you know, this is the fuck. You know, this is the logic behind how all this stuff works. You know what I mean? And they're slowly kind of piecing it all together as they go, which I kind of like. And I kind of like this from Yosuke as well, where he's all big and mighty. He's like, "Huh, we don't need you this time, bitch. We've got a rope." Snap. Well, you better let us out. I kind of like that. That he's just like so overconfident, and then it's like, shit. I'm gonna have to rely on you, aren't I, again?
It's not us. So we've got nothing to prove to you. Hey,
and again, I guess it makes sense as well that Teddy would be kind of, what's the word? He'd be suspicious of us, because like we've decided to he's seen us now a couple of times, so it does make sense that he'd be like, why the fuck do you keep coming here if you're not involved with the murders? Or involved with the people being thrown in here, you know what I mean? So I think that makes sense.
The fog lifts here. It's really dangerous when the fog lifts. That's when the shadows get violent.
Yeah, so when the fog lifts in this world, basically the shadows get in this. The shadows, which are creatures in this world, get violent. Which is how come, you know, when it starts to get super foggy in the real world, that is when the dead bodies kind of get chucked out into the real world.
I've told you we're not the ones doing it. I've about had it with you. Why the hell won't you listen to what we're saying?
I'm just saying. You might be the.
I also think it makes sense that Yosuke's kind of getting frustrated here. It's like, for fuck's sake, dude, will you just listen? Will you listen to what we're fucking saying, bitch? Let's just, for God's sake, we need to get on with this.
Hey, don't tell me. Is that weird show being filmed here?
Weird show? Filmed?
Yeah, and Teddy doesn't really understand the concept of filming and TV, really. You know, he doesn't really get it because he's always lived in this world, so he has no idea about television sets and, like, you know, television shows and that sort of thing. So he doesn't really fully understand what the fuck's going on.
I told you before.
We don't know what these shadow things are, or what you are either, for that matter.
So yeah, and he kind of, and Teddy, he does give like little brief explanations of this world, but it's kind of just, it's very ill-informed. It's just like, he's always lived here, so he just talks about what he knows, and that is basically only he and Shadows live here. Oh shit.
It's empty inside.
Yeah, Teddy has no form. He's just a giant walking bear suit.
Culprit? I wouldn't do such a thing.
Dude, I love the sound effect to that. Like, I love his walking sound effect as well. It's very very cartoony. I love how he just like uses his feet to find it and then just kind of flicks the headpiece back onto him. It's kind of funny. Although he's got a zip. Why does it get kind of pulled off like it's like a like it's just like a little plastic toy or something? You know, it's kind of weird in that regard. But anyway, doesn't make sense, I suppose. But then again, it's a sentient talking bear suit, so what the fuck. So basically, he's decided that we aren't the ones who are behind this, but he wants us to kind of help. But he wants us to help him kind of find out who's doing it, and stop them from throwing more people into this world, so he can go back to, you know, living his life in relative peace in this world. So yeah, we go back to what Igor said, that a great mystery will be thrust upon us, and it seems that this is it. So yeah, it's a but thou must situation, so yeah.
Thank you.
Damn bear.
Yeah, because basically your choices are, sure, I'll do it willingly, or, well fuck, I haven't really got a choice, have I? Because if we don't do it, then you're just going to leave us stuck in here forever.
You got my word too. Might as well introduce ourselves.
So yeah, we're going to be helping out.
You got a name?
Teddy.
And this is my buddy.
But how are we supposed to find the culprit in the first place?
Just to find the culprit in the first place.
But I know where the last person came in.
Well, thank you, Teddy. You're so helpful.
You mean Saki-senpai?
I mean the person who came in and disappeared last time.
But yeah, Teddy can be a little bit helpful here because he can show us where the last person who entered the TV world, where they kind of entered. So he can send us to where Saki was. Oh, right. And this is where he gives us glasses. So he's created these glasses which basically allow us to be able to see the world in complete clarity without any of the fog. Basically renders the fog invisible.
But I can only show you where the place is. You guys will have to defend yourselves.
What happened to relying on you?
Yes, basically.
There better not be any monsters, you understand?
So yeah, Teddy's
I mean,
a complete weakling and completely useless when it comes to combat.
If it's so dangerous, why don't you do something instead of relying on us?
No way. I've got no muscles. I'll give
Well,
you
to be
guys
fair, we did see him. He's
morals
completely
from
fucking
a
hollow,
safe
so I
distance.
guess he
How's
wouldn't
that
be all
sound?
that strong. But this leads to one of my favourite moments. Can Teddy really not fight? You can either touch him, push him, or hit him. If you do the basic one, which is just touching,
No!
he falls on his back and kind of gets stuck there like a fucking turtle, stuck on its shell. I don't know, I kind of like this moment, because wherever you do, it doesn't really matter, so it's kind of funny to just, like, touch him and he kind of goes over like he's been punched in the face. It's kind of funny.
Anyways, at least now we know Senpai might have been thrown in here.
And I like this how we go into a normal conversation with him still stuck on his back.
Wait!
Wait for me! Jesus Christ. Gotta help you up now. Oh god, it's the bad music again.
Just like the shopping district.
By the bad music, I mean
What's going on here?
the kind of
Some weird places.
the creepy music. I don't mean bad. The soundtrack's really fucking awesome.
I don't know what to do.
By the way, why are you standing so far from
So
us?
yeah,
You better
so this
not
is
be
the
planning to
area where
hightail it if
Saki kind
something
of ended
does
up.
come up.
Basically,
I mean, I can't stand too
sorry.
close, you know?
So yeah, she ended up in a place which resembles
Really
the
went all out
high
on
street.
this. And out of all the places in town, why'd they replicate
So
this
yeah,
one?
kind of interesting
How should I know?
that this is the
This is
world that she
reality
would
for the one
replicate.
who's here.
As usual, nothing you say makes any sense.
So yeah,
This is our
basically,
shopping district.
Teddy's basically
Not
saying
far
here
from
that
Saki-senpai's.
basically this is the reason this is the shopping district is because this is the kind of the reality which
This is the
Saki
liquor store
kind
that
of
Senpai's
created for
parents run.
herself in this
Does
world.
mean Senpai
So
disappeared here?
it's kind of
What could have happened?
from her subconscious, basically,
Wait a
from her
second.
mind. It's what her mind ended up created.
What?
Oh shit.
Shadows. I had a feeling they were going to attack.
So yeah, now we get our first look at the shadows. I have to admit they got kind of a creepy design. I think this design was originally... The shadows originally had this design in Persona 3 as well. At least the initial design, and then these are completely new design and fresh designs. Kind of the big ball, kind of a big ball with like giant mouth and a giant tongue. Just kind of creepy, to be honest. But yeah, now we have our Awakenings theme. And we get a card. Now this is kind of the thing which is original for Persona 4 in terms of how we call forth our personas. Because in 3 you had like the guns, the evokers, and in Persona 5, what did we have in Persona 5? I can't remember. But this scene's really fucking cool. It's kind of a badass scene, to be honest. And we bring forth our first persona, Izanagi. To be honest, I think I like this design the best out of all the main, the initial personas for the protagonists. I think Izanagi is my favorite design. I'm trying to remember, what is it in P5 that they call forth? I don't think they have anything in P5 actually, from what I remember. So yeah, it's a card suit in this time. That's kind of the main motif for Persona 4, is the kind of the card motif and gambling motif kind of thing. But we get into our first battle, and we've got. So we get our first battle. This is basically our tutorial battle. And Izanagi basically starts off with Zio, Cleave, and Rakukaja. Zio is the base kind of the bog standard electric attack. Cleave is a physical attack which does a good amount of damage but costs HP to use. And Rakukaja increases the one person's evasion and speed. And we learn Rakunda, which is a really useful one. Rakunda, oh no, we don't learn it yet. But Rakunda is really useful because that decreases one enemy's defense for 3 turns. So we have awakened to our first persona, the persona Izanagi.
What was that? Did I hear you say?
Which, like I say, I really like Izanagi's design. It looks really fucking cool.
What did you do? Hey, you think I can do it too?
Calm down, Yosuke.
Asking me too many questions, buddy.
Sensei?
I don't like this now that Teddy all of a sudden is like, "You're amazing. I love you, Sensei. You're so good at this." It kind of, now he kind of considers us some cool kind of badass, which I guess we are at this point. You know what I mean? But
that's what I thought. This is really something. Don't you think so, Yosuke?
Dude, you call him Sensei
I
and then
like
don't
this.
show me
Funny as well.
Sorry.
I love that animation
Well, your
where
support
Yosuke
was
kind of
bad,
pushes
though.
him
Gotta
down
give
and
you
then he
some
just
credit
kind
for
of
that.
bounces straight back up like a weeble. It's kind of funny.
All right.
I like that Yosuke there actually gives him a bit of a compliment. Yeah, you were alright in battle, You kind of, gave good instructions and helped him out. But yeah, there we go. That's our first tutorial battle. And now we begin to hear voices.
It's all because of that store.
What the?
I heard that Konishi-san's daughter is working there.
So yeah, we're basically hearing what Saki was hearing before she basically ended up dying. Turns out she was dealing with a lot of shit from the locals, basically talking shit about her working for Jeunesse, when her parents own a liquor store in the shopping district, and kind of Jeunesse is kind of taking business away.
I only know about what's over
So yeah, this is kind of what she was experiencing when she came in here.
We'll find out ourselves.
So yeah, time for us to head in and find out what was going on with Saki. But that's not going to be till next part. So join me next time for the next part of Persona 4 Golden, when we will be heading into this liquor store to see what was going on with Saki, and we'll also have our first boss fight. So yeah, see you next time.